The adrenaline, and the louder they yell, the harder I'll drive. That car there, it's a pretty tough car as long as you know you'll protect your front end and stuff like that. It's real easy to do this. You can't hit the driver's doors, you know. Anybody can do it. I usually don't have a strategy. I try to go out there and make the fans go crazy, so I drive pretty hard. Yeah, everybody out there's family, you know. You might get somebody that gets upset at you. At the end of the day, we're all family.
All right, you saw it there up close, in person. That was Derby driver Zach Bryson, who we have here with us today. Thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome.
And we have little Dusty over here, who is his nephew and biggest fan. He's also one of your biggest helpers.
Yes.
I love that.
That's right. So kind of talk us through, if someone has no idea, what is Demolition Derby? What are the rules? Talk us through the big points.
The Demolition Derby, you know, comes down to the last man standing. The rules, you know, just no driver door hits and make an aggressive hit every 60 seconds. And, you know, just if they throw a red flag, you know, you got to stop for the red flag. But other than that, there's really no rules besides, you know, your car, the class you run.
I love that. And, you know, we're talking to him today because at Parsons Stadium, beginning at 6:30 this weekend, they're doing a Demolition Derby.
Yes.
This is such a great event for maybe a lot of folks who sort of moved to the area. They're new here. What is a Demolition Derby exactly? What kind of cars are these? Are you building them from the ground up?
Some classes, like the class I'm running, you know, you take any stock car and you just knock the windows out, pull the plastic, you know, the fire hazard stuff, you pull it out. And but there's, you know, a welded class. You can, you know, put roll cages in on different bumpers and stuff like that. It depends what class you pick to run.
So these cars, they're hitting a lot.
Yes.
And that's sort of the point, too,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah, last man standing.
Yeah,
You can, you know, some guys drive harder than others, but, you know, the strategy is you got to make a, you know, hit every 60 seconds, the last man standing.
Wow. So how does your uncle here, does he do a lot of hitting other drivers? Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's in.
Yeah. Tell us exactly, how did you get your start as a Derby driver?
Just a buddy of mine asked me if I wanted to, there was a local fair show come to Harrison, and he was like, do you want to run? I was like, yeah, I'll try it. So I tried it back in 2015 and been hooked since.
Yeah.
I love that. So what kind of person makes a good Demolition Derby driver?
Person that can keep us cool better.
Okay. Did that take a lot of practice for you over the years?
I'm still trying to learn it.
Still trying to learn
Yeah.
it. I love it.
I love it. Kind of explain more about the relationship and the respect between the drivers. Even though you're trying to destroy each other's cars, you're still trying to, you know,
Protect
have that.
you.
Yeah, protect yourself. Tell me about that.
The front end, you know, like on our cars, you know, we drive and everything's in the front end on these front-wheel drive cars. So you got to protect your front end because your computer and all that's up front. So you just try to protect the front end, use the back end up until you can't no more. Then you start driving forward if you have to.
I love that. And for people who maybe have never been, will they be surprised at what they see?
Oh yeah, they'll be happy.
I'm sure they will. Well, let's talk about the rebuilding process because we watched you making some of your car. Does that take a lot of work?
On the class I run, you know, you can have it done a day or two. You know, just pull the plastic out and, you know, put a bar behind the seat where, you know, when you hit, the seat don't break. But there's classes, you know, that some guys put 50, 60, 70 hours in the car just to get it ready.
Well, this is sort of like a family thing for you, right? Because you were telling me a story about this little guy here. He does a lot of work too.
Yes.
Well, tell me that story again.
I went for a family deal a few weeks ago, and I come back, and he's had the car stripped over halfway, and he's been hooked with me since.
And how old
That's
is he?
awesome.
He's 5.
Oh my gosh.
I love it.
Starting them young.
Yeah.
What tends to hurt for you the next morning? Are you sore after something like
Oh yeah.
this?
Like a few weeks ago, we went and ran hot springs down there, and my calves turned black from, you know, bruised pretty bad, and your lower back, your arms, you know, because you're trying to hold on when you hit somebody. So basically, from head to head to toe, you're hurting somewhere. So.
How long does it usually take for you to sort of heal from a race?
A couple weeks sometimes. Like I done 2 derbies in a weekend, then the next 2 weekends I traveled to Texarkana, then Enid, Oklahoma, and ran. So I ran 4 derbies in 3 weeks, and so I was hurting for probably a month or 2 after. So.
Okay, so is it just a lot of fun, or are there big cash prizes in this?
Some, you know, like there's a show down there in Kansas, that the welded class, they pay $100,000 to win.
Really?
So,
Wow.
but the class we run, it's a smaller pay, but you got less money in your cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely so. That is amazing. All right, let's talk about any super creative fixes, because I imagine you got to like do a lot of patchwork a lot of times to these cars that you're proud of, maybe.
Like the class I run, no, I drive pretty hard, so I usually one run after a car, I take it, junk and get another one.
Okay.
So
I didn't know it was a new car every
That's
like
interesting.
a few weeks ago when I ran Hot Springs and then went to Texarkana, I used the same car, so I just had to beat the metal back a little bit. But other than that, I went the next weekend and built the car in 5 days and ran another derby.
That is amazing. All right,
cool.
Demolition Derby this weekend, Parsons Stadium on Saturday.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Okay, check that out.
Yeah.
We got to go see
I think we
this.
got it. This is going to be really cool.
All right, thanks so much for being here with us. All right, let's go ahead and send things over to Danny for a look at the weather.